Hi guys, it's Cayman Alexia, and this is Girl Fight, the Sports Talk podcast. Our mission here at Girl Fight is to simply bring respect and awareness to women in sports. So, with me today, I have my favorite guest, my brother D. Paul, right here.
What's up?
Hello. Welcome to the first episode of Girl Fight.
First of all, thank you for having me on the show. I'm really honored that this is the first episode before it makes ESPN, of course.
Of course.
I'm glad to be on here. I'm grateful that you selected me to be on the first episode. It's very special.
Yes. Okay, fun. So here at Girl Fight, the guest is actually the one who picks the topics, and I let them pretty much just take the reins here. So Davion wanted to talk about some player empowerment, which I loved.
Yes.
As a former elite level player, I love this topic. So, what made you pick player empowerment?
I honestly feel like we as players, because I play basketball, I'm a basketball player. I feel like we should have more say-so and more of power in the decisions that take place in not even just the league, but as a player. Like, we should have more power in our circumstance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a very important topic because there's a lot of players that aren't getting done the right way that want to speak up. They need that voice, you know what I'm saying? They need somebody to talk about these things because there's a lot of people out there that's getting done pretty dirty.
Okay. That was a nice take on player empowerment. That's not where I thought you were going with that. But so what does player empowerment exactly mean to you? Just that?
Yeah, it means player empowerment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Basically what it is, player empowerment. Giving the power to players, or giving power to players, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're not GMs, of course, but we still should have a say-so in the direction that our careers go, you know what I'm saying? Or at least have some insight on that.
Right. I think that a player empowerment is many things. I think it's many things. It's a huge umbrella, and it's just so broad that it could go so many ways. But for me, my definition of player empowerment would be to just support the player as a whole, whether they're on the court or the field or not. I think that's where a lot of people kind of mess up, or they lose the sight of the athlete and them being across those white lines or across the black lines. I think that supporting the player as a whole, and supporting the player meaning like their staff, their teammates, their everything, everybody that's around them, their team, their entire team, just encompassing everything that, all of their knowledge that they know to help support their player. So there's coaches that can empower their players. There's your teammates, obviously. I think that's where you get the most empowerment from, is your teammates, and then secondly, your fans.
That's your support right there. They always, like, your teammates is like, that's like your family for real. Like, you create a bond with them, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you build that brotherhood or sisterhood with your teammates, like, little people know that are outside of sports. They don't know, like, those trips to the restaurants are really bonding moments.
Right.
The times where the bus might break down or the plane might be late. You're building those bonds. So it's like, of course, your team's going to ride for you, or at least they're supposed to. That's how it's supposed to be. So when your team rides for you and y'all get together for one purpose, you know what I'm saying, that motive is pushed further.
Right. I know that during my time at Houston Baptist, now Houston Christian.
Pretty dope change.
I feel old now. Retro. But I know during my time at HBU, my teammates were my biggest support system outside of my parents. My parents and my family, of course. But my teammates, being from not Houston and having to come to college by myself, having my teammates was super important. And we all just rallied around each other. People don't understand that you go somewhere automatically getting 20 or 50 or 100 new best friends.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool that I went into college by myself, not knowing anybody. Obviously, I'm not from Houston, don't know anybody, don't have any friends.
You got to build that up.
And I didn't have to, like, go out and make friends. They were kind of forced to be my friends, but we just so happened to all like each other. So I think I got the biggest support from my teammates for sure.
That's pretty dope.
There's some things that I wish teammates would support more.
Mm-hmm.
Like in our case of our famous Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Last game being January 1st of 2017.
That's some time ago, too.
Some time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when I graduated high school. I'm now out of college.
That's what I'm saying.
So, I mean, versus the Seattle Seahawks back when Russ was still doing his Russ.
Hey, I don't know what's up with him. Me personally, I don't know what went on in Seattle, but I personally believe he should have stayed. I don't understand when those superstars that have been in a city for so long just decide to leave. Like, there's reasons, but me personally, I would stay where I'm at. Like, get my coins and stay where I'm at.
I don't know if it was about ring chasing, because if it was Denver really your move to make?
That's my next question. Why Denver? Like,
but, anyways, we can talk.
yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick, last game, 2017, January 1st of the new year versus the Seattle Seahawks. And he was like completely blackballed from the NFL for
Yeah.
simply sticking
Standing
up for something that,
He believed
one,
in.
affected him,
Yeah.
and two, that he believed in. And it was three, something that wasn't serious enough to completely end the man's career.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's be clear.
It makes you look at it on a deeper lens.
And I wish his teammates and his colleagues, other teams, kind of supported him and rallied around him, especially with the fact that NFL would be nothing without black players.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
That's the truth. It's no sugarcoating it, honestly. And really, one thing that I can say about the entire situation is that I feel like a lot of the main reason why a lot of them didn't, like, I guess, kneel in that time was because they're not trying to lose their job. Some guys aren't even on, I guess, guaranteed contracts. Like, they're just players that are there. They're expendable. You know what I'm saying? They're replaceable. So it's like a lot of guys don't stand up because of their own situations.
I get that.
But I feel like he did stand up for something that he felt was right, that is actually right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
My problem comes when it's now a trend,
Yeah.
and no one's been fired for it.
Come on, man.
And they still won't give the man his job back.
He won't have his job back. 2017.
And I mean, he was a, top draft pick. Top quarterback.
It's just ridiculous. That just goes to show how the times have changed.
It's ridiculous. So I really wish that his colleagues, his teammates would have really rallied around him more, spoke up even maybe.
Yeah.
I get that you're scared to lose your job, and I get that. This is how you feed your family,
Yeah.
but they can't fire us all.
Right, exactly.
That's my point.
But he was a trailblazer for this motion to get moving. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he really did serve a bigger purpose in all this. So it's not, we can't just look at it like, oh, he's blackballed out the league. But he did send a message to the league. You know?
He did, indeed. It just sucks that it was at the expense of him not being able to play a game that he's so good at, and that everybody, he's Colin Kaepernick. Like, come on.
Yeah. It's just disappointing. But it happens. You know it
Right.
happens.
And his coaches weren't there to support them. We need more Coach Pops in the world.
Yeah.
Coach Pop is
Coach Pop,
super empowerment.
he gonna stand for what he's standing for.
He stands for
gonna
what he
support the
stands
players.
for.
I think he supports the players.
He
too, though.
supports his
I
players
think he supports his players.
100%.
He's really good. He's created a lot of I guess leaders in younger guys, like guys like myself, young Kawhi Leonard, Tim Duncan, like guys that are, I guess, can be considered role models in their community. You know,
Right,
stand up
right.
for what they believe.
And he talks about that all the time. Coach Pop always encourages his players. He says, quote, literally, that his players must be coaches.
Yeah.
That empowers the young players to find their way on the court and to be able to lead. And people can say what they want about the Spurs. Okay, go Spurs, go. People
Yeah.
can say what they want, but Pop builds players. So
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
go somewhere else, they're leaders. They have foundational.
Look at DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray.
Got him
Look at
some money.
Kawhi Leonard.
Got him a
Like,
championship.
and everybody talks about the Spurs, but everybody wants to be a Spur.
The Spurs, man, that's where you develop at, man. That's
Everybody
like-
wants to be a Spur.
Like, that's where you learn how to play basketball. And I feel like you can become a better person in general. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how their front office is, because I don't know how the movement of players goes, but it seems like they're pretty loyal to their players over there. I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know what
I
happened
feel
with
like they're a
Kawhi
little
Leonard.
too loyal to their players over there.
What do you mean by that?
I feel like they just kind of are people who, their organization seems like, I don't want to hurt your feelings type of
Oh, I see
organization.
where you're going with that. I guess, but at the same time, look at that Kawhi Leonard situation. I don't know how that fanned out. I don't know what his say so was in the situation, but that was way back when, 2017. Also around that time, I believe. No, about 2017, 2018. Yeah, it was around that time that was big. That era. See, he was a pioneer for that as well.
He was, but he should have had himself in a Spurs jersey,
Hey, it
playing
happens.
on the court,
He got a championship.
getting us another ring. We were on a race for Sace,
Mm-hmm.
and Kawhi messed it up.
I don't think he messed it up. Y'all had a good run.
We had a good run. We still have 5 championships.
That's true.
But
That's true.
that's because of Coach Pop
So
and his empowerment of his players.
So do you feel like a lot of the players now are more in control of their situations?
I don't think they're in enough control of their situations with the Spurs organization.
Right. So NBA, NFL, like, is it like equal when it comes to their power?
No, I don't think so. I think that NBA players have a lot more say-so than NFL players. And I could be wrong. I don't play in either.
Yeah.
But I do interact with both. And I think that the NFL players have a lot less say-so. They're pretty much, you do what
Yeah.
you're told.
Makes sense.
And I think the basketball, that they're allowed to have a little bit more freedom, a little bit more speech, a little bit more character.
Yeah.
I think people look at the league like it's an office job. They're athletes.
Yeah, that's the job. But that's the thing. That's what it is at the end of the day. Like, yes, us as athletes, like, dream to play at the professional level at some point in time of our lives. But there has to be a point in time where we look at it, like, for what it is, a business. It's a job.
It's absolutely a
Yeah, you know what I'm
business.
saying?
People own this business. Like, people are investing in you.
They put their
There's a
money
lot of
into it.
people investing in you. Your agent, your organization, and your trainers, and everybody else. There's so many people investing in you when you play at that top level. But I just think that it is a different type of professional.
Okay.
I think you can be professional, but we can't expect the athletes to behave like they own Wells Fargo.
No, for
Like-
sure not. Yeah.
They're athletes.
Player empowerment, not player ownership.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
So-
some players do have too much freedom. So I feel like too much, not freedom, but like too much power or control in the situation. You know what I'm saying? Over a franchise. That's huge. That's like huge. That's not just affecting you as a player. That's affecting everybody in the franchise.
Right.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's those franchise players who can call those shots. Your
Yeah.
LeBron James, your Ja Morant,
Yeah.
things like that. They
Makes
can call those shots because they are the organization.
Literally.
Like,
Face of the franchise.
They are drawing people there. They are literally a marketing scheme for their team.
That's insane how it works, though. Make so much money off of players.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, it's not like it's not like they don't get a return on their investment. Because everybody always thinks like, oh, everybody invest in the athletes. They get everything for free. They get to do whatever. And that's not true. They also invest a lot of time, which is something nobody could afford or
Yeah.
get back. So that's like the biggest investment. And then also their bodies, they invest in that. I
Gotta be
mean,
in shape.
having to be in shape. So you have to train. You have to pay your trainer. You need treatment. You have to pay your doctors.
Yeah.
You need meals. You have to pay your nutritionist. Like, it's a lot that goes into being a machine.
Yeah.
Your body's literally a machine. It's your job. Your body is your brand. So I just think that, but I also think that they should allow players to just be themselves.
Yeah.
Because they do also return so much into the company. It's a mutually beneficial
It's
relationship.
like a lifetime relationship for real. Like you're investing your life into this sport that you play for this franchise
Right.
to feed your family. You know what I'm saying? So it's
And
like-
let's not act like if something didn't happen to one of these athletes, they wouldn't just be replaced like that.
come on, man.
It's a
That's
business.
historically how it goes. But I feel like some players are done wrong in that situation. Like I don't know if it should be something in their contracts to where, like, you know what I'm saying, you get some type of time to come back, because you can't get traded while you're injured. At least that's how it is in the NBA. But I feel like you should get some time to prove yourself after you've gone through rehab and trained yourself back to health. But a lot of these dudes, they get blackballed after stuff like that. Like a crucial injury, gone. Just
Yep.
like that.
Yep. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen with the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, with one of my guys. And it's kind of messed up because it's like I know that he was ready.
Yeah.
I know he could play at this level for one. For sure, I was certain about that, and so were they. But them seeing his history of something that's not currently there, right? But it was something that happened.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, we don't want it anymore. And it's just like, it's disheartening for the athlete for one.
Yeah.
Because they worked hard to get to where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And an injury shouldn't determine that. I mean, he didn't have a knee replacement.
Yeah.
So
That's insane.
I just think.
So you think it's based off of like the severity of the injury? Like you feel like that plays a huge part?
I feel like that plays a huge part from even college recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
I think that plays a huge part. You see it all the time. People, you have this huge recruit and then he tears an ACL.
Yeah.
And then it's
over.
like, oh, we don't want him anymore. Like, it's just an ACL tear.
He drops his. Well, people hear that and get scared.
He'll be back.
They don't think they. It's like, see, it goes back to what you're saying though, and I'm not trying to defend the cause, but it goes back to what you're saying. They invest their dollars into this, and some guys say it's a top draft pick. Dang, how often do we get a draft pick this high? How often do we get this opportunity? So do I want to spend my money on this guy that just got hurt? All right, maybe he might come back 80% of what he was, or maybe he might be just as good, or maybe better. But do we want to take that risk? That is what that franchise.
Sometimes this person's 80% is a hell of a lot better than this person's 100%.
That is very true. That is very true. But that's not how they see it. This is what they see.
Oh, I know.
That's so crazy.
It's a huge, but I don't think that's logical. I mean, yeah, you're investing your money, but are you not going to see an ROI?
Make it make sense. Do you not trust your doctors?
Right.
People trying to win now, win now, win now. It don't always happen like that.
Well, but winning is the name of the game.
The winning is the name of the game, and I do understand that a lot of teams don't have the time, especially those front office people. People in the front office, hey, why we haven't been winning in the last 4 or 5 years?
Oh yeah, you're out of here.
Let's get you up out of there. Let's get the next person. You want to buy? Come on. You're not doing that with the franchise? I'll let somebody else get your spot. Goes like that. Same with front office too.
Right.
It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of players get done wrong. I mean, see, I think we need more players like LeBron and like the top guys to speak out more. LeBron does a good job, but I feel like if more of these guys or people in the NFL spoke out and used their platform and power, I feel like the players would make some shape.
But that goes back to them being empowered.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that starts by being supported by your front office, or if you're in college, being supported by your athletic director,
Mm-hmm.
being supported by your training staff, and being supported by your coaches, and allowing players to be themselves. I know that at my time at Houston Baptist University, there were so many, and if you know me personally, you know that I'm not one to like bite my tongue.
Right, you say what you gotta say.
I say what I need to say because I don't want to have any regrets. I don't want to leave anything unsaid. And I felt like I was shut up a lot by my coaching staff because it was just challenging to them, for one. I wasn't afraid to really challenge some of the things that I disagreed with.
They didn't like that.
And I mean, what coaching staff does? What coaching staff likes a player to challenge them?
Yeah, which is crazy though. Like, what do you think this is? I'm grown just as you. You may be older than me, but I feel like I still have a say so.
Exactly.
I
I'm a
understand.
grown woman, for one.
Yeah.
And for two, if I don't like something, I don't like it.
Right.
That doesn't mean you have to listen to me, but I'm definitely going to say what I need to say.
I'm gonna say what I gotta say.
And I think that's where people mess up. I don't think that they're afraid to say what they need to say because of things like that. There were a lot of times where I wanted to speak up, or I should have spoken up for myself or the team if it affected me. I don't speak for other people.
Yeah.
But especially for myself, there were just times where I was just so unsupported, especially in my senior year with like COVID, and I had surgery, and it was just like I was so unsupported by my coaching staff, and I was so over supported by my teammates.
How was that? Was that like a mentally draining era?
Very. My senior year was horrible. It was mentally draining. It was mentally and physically draining. Having to have a major surgery, to not even being believed that I needed a surgery.
That is ridiculous. Why would somebody fake a major injury?
I don't even, and it's not like it was a sports related injury.
Yeah.
But I think that had I been comfortable enough previously to speak my piece and without thinking that I was going to get my scholarship snatched or benched.
That would have been ridiculous because that would have exposed the entire program.
And even in 2017 was my freshman year. That was my very first year playing at HBU when all of the Black Lives Matter and all of that started happening.
Yeah.
And we were blackballed too. We were told, you better not kneel or your ass is off the team.
That's crazy.
And it's like crazy to say that when you have black players on your team,
Like,
and we were not supported.
How can you tell me not to support something that I support?
Something that affects me personally.
So boom, now I have a question. Because we have the Black Lives Matter movement. And recently they've been trying to push this LGBTQ stuff. Do you feel like if it was a strike against that their response or reaction be different?
I went to a Christian school, so I could honestly say I think it would have been parallel.
Okay.
I don't think it would have been as hardcore as you're off of the team.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my answer would be no.
Wow.
I don't think it would be the same if it was
crazy.
that.
That is.
I don't think it would be the same if it was that. I don't think we had a Jill Ellis. She supported her girls through them speaking up. I mean, Megan Rapinoe literally said the White House, and her coach totally stood by it.
Yeah.
She fights with her girls, and they felt comfortable saying that because if they didn't feel comfortable saying that, they wouldn't have said it.
Wouldn't have said it. Mm-hmm. That. You know what? That's really huge too. Like when you have your teammates with you, and you have your coaching staff and the front office behind you, that whole franchise is moving like a great.
You're moving
machine.
like a team.
Yeah.
And something's gonna get done. Something's gonna get moved.
You're on the same page.
Right.
That builds bigger bonds as well.
It was just horrible to see like all of us black players kind of be like, well, shit.
Yeah.
We can't say anything then. We can't post anything then because you're being watched on social media.
Mm-hmm. And luckily, for me, I wasn't playing during this Black Lives Matter time. So my reaction, I feel like, because I couldn't sit there and not go for something that I believe. Like if I'm standing for something and I believe that the organization or the league is moving in a different direction and they're trying to like suppress me for what I believe, I would have to go with what I believe because they're just going to have to do that to me.
Right.
I'm just going to have to be one of those persons. Somebody has to do it.
Right.
Somebody has to let them know that they can't do this. They can't keep oppressing players.
Somebody needs to be a Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, somebody.
He set a precedence.
Mm-hmm. Somebody needs to be that. Somebody needs to be that on all of us. You know what I'm saying?
They do. And it's sad to not be supported because it's like we're literally your players and we're all here from like everywhere and we don't have anybody else here to support us. You're like our surrogate parents,
Literally.
And you're just not supported. And then when you're supported by your teammates, it's great. But
Yeah.
if they're scared to say something too, then that doesn't matter.
It doesn't mean. I was about to say it doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying?
That doesn't matter at all. That doesn't matter at all. And I think that also can affect a player's mental state as well because you're there by yourself. Mm-hmm. Your confidence is shot. And now you feel like you're less than.
Mm-hmm. Or you're alone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because you feel like you can't stand up. Like you said, we're grown women. But we felt belittled to not say anything. I felt like a teenager. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm a whole 20-year-old woman, you know what I'm saying? And it's like
you
couldn't even step up for it. And it does affect your mental state as a player. There's so many things that affect your mental state as a player. Yeah. And players aren't supported through that either, through mental healthness. Everybody thinks that athletes are so tough. Yeah. And they're so, like, cool.
Just because of the physicality of a sport.
Right. Or even just the fact that they think athletes, like I said, they think athletes just get everything handed to them. Athletes and it's just so much that goes into being an athlete, being a coach, being even on the training staff.
The discipline you have to have.
Right. And I just wish more coaches were aware of that. I wish we had more Ryan Days. He was at Ohio, and he was a huge advocate as a coach, not as an AD, not as a doctor of the team, as a coach. on the football team, he was a huge advocate to mental health for his boys, which I thought was important, especially for boys,
Right.
for young men. I thought that was super important.
That's very
And
important.
I think
It's always important to have that older person like sticking up. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So
I
it's like-
think every single organization, every single school should definitely have that, because that goes into empowering your player as well. I know that we had a psychologist for a while. I want to say it was like my first 2 years, and then he got really, really busy he was in the middle of his dissertation. And I mean, we had maybe like 1 or 2 meetings as a group with him, which were great. Every single time we came out of the other end of that feeling great. And also, he extended himself as a tool if we wanted to talk individually, which I never used him as a tool because I have tools of my own, but just knowing, it was like a safety net.
Yeah.
Just knowing that we had the resource
It gives
and
you
we
that
had the
comfort.
accessibility gave you that comfort, because there's a lot of things that you couldn't go and tell your coach.
Yeah.
And he had, he was a confidant, obviously because of HIPAA.
Right.
He didn't want to get sued. But also because that's just what he wanted to do. So that was super, super great to have. And I wish that every college would have it, especially college, but definitely the pros as well.
Yeah, I feel like the pros do need some, you know what I'm saying? Some of that to keep going. Like, pros, you would think, and this is crazy to say, you would think that pros would have the most control over their situation because they've worked so hard. They've been to every single level. They've played hard. They've worked hard. I think people underestimate how much work it is to be an athlete and how much work they put in. Like, us as athletes, we put in a lot of work. Even as a college athlete, I don't want to say regular students, but like regular students would overlook the work of an athlete and believe, you know what I'm
100%.
saying? So it's like that.
It's like, oh, you get to miss class. I missed class because I got home at 3 a.m.
Come on, man. Coming from
and
Nebraska.
I'm coming from Europe.
You know?
Like, oh my gosh. And I'm still expected to get up and turn my work in on
go to
time.
class.
And I'm still expected to have these same exact notes that you have, because the teacher's not going to reteach the class for me.
No. It's too many students.
It's too many students,
Yeah.
especially if you go to a big school. I went to the smallest school in the world,
Yeah.
and my teachers still weren't babying me.
Yeah.
I had to make friends in that class that were normal and regular people to take notes for me and just hope they're nice enough to send them to me
Yeah.
so that I could be caught up on my notes. And you better keep those grades up,
Yeah, or
or
else
you're not playing,
You're not going to play.
and you're not going to have a
I'm
scholarship.
not going to tell you to suit up. I'm going to tell you all right, you can watch the games.
Right.
And then when we travel, you may be able to travel with us, but you can watch it from the crib. We'll send you the link, or watch us on TV.
And now we're going to tell you and show you how disappointed we are in you for not being there for your team.
Like, they make you feel really bad. They do a good job of making you feel really,
Really bad. They do.
It's so disappointing, but it is what it is. Like I say, it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it right now, but it is what it is. Pass your freaking classes.
Pass your classes.
Like,
Get things done.
pass your
But
classes.
it's also, you have those regular people who are stressing about anatomy, like, okay, you had your whole day to study.
Come on, man. And with tutors.
I had practice, then I had film, then I had to pack, then I had to travel. I'm studying while I'm traveling, but
So
now
much.
I'm seasick because I'm reading on the bus.
Like, come on, man. Like, it's taking out too much energy from your day, for real.
Athletes aren't respected enough.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I've only went to JUCO, but I can only imagine how it was at the university. Like, I know it was stressful.
It was very stressful. It turned into a job, and I lost a lot of love for the game probably after my first year there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it showed. Because, I mean, it turns into a job. It's not fun anymore.
But you were able to keep yourself disciplined.
It teaches you a lot.
That's
It teaches
huge.
you a lot.
That's huge. Discipline will get you far in the game. I just know it is. I know it will. Like, because even if you, like Floyd Mayweather, he goes out and parties, but he's drinking his water. He goes out and do this, do that, but he's steady working on his craft.
Right.
He's steady disciplined. I'll drink 5 sodas, but I'm going to work that out, and I'm going to drink 3 gallons of water after.
Right.
It's like if I have my fun, I better balance it with some discipline.
That's the type of player I was. And that's why I respect James Harden a lot. Because everybody looked at me, just the way they looked at James Harden, I was pretty much a James Harden on the field. But
Yeah. Talk your stuff.
but everybody looks at James Harden and they're like, oh my God, he's always partying. He's always in the strip club. He's always eating wings. He's always. But you guys don't see when he's at practice, he's probably business.
Yeah. As soon as he get on the court.
He's probably just straight business.
As soon as he get on the court.
And you know he is, because he wouldn't be James Harden if he wasn't. He wouldn't be James Harden.
He is.
Exactly. He wouldn't be James Harden if he wasn't coming on that court and meaning business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's another thing. That's another thing that comes with allowing players to just be themselves. You have to separate the job from the person.
Yeah.
Your doctor probably goes out and gets shit-faced weekly, and you have no idea
At all.
because his job is to be your doctor, not for you to care about his personal
Yeah,
life.
you don't worry about what I'm doing.
As long as he's your doctor and he's good at his job and you're healed,
That's what
you
matters.
don't care.
Because you're not going to care because he's doing his job. That is so crazy. When you do your job, things open up. Straight like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy. Even when you do your job, I feel like the media is still going to try to come at you and try to, like, tone that down.
Of course.
Like what they told LeBron about shut up and dribble. What does that even mean? Shut up and dribble? That's how we going?
I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
At all.
For one, you couldn't even dribble.
Like, stop.
And for two, it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Right.
If he really did shut up and dribble, he wouldn't be doing enough. He would just be some athlete, some brat, some superstar, some ego, right?
Oh,
but
why didn't he speak up against this?
Exactly. But he speaks up about something, and he's right about it.
Double standard.
And he's educated about the situation. He's not just talking out of his neck. And now it's shut up and
It's a
dribble.
problem now because he said something that made sense. Because something was said that made sense, and it made the opposition feel a certain type of way.
It wasn't shut up and dribble when he opened up his school.
It wasn't. It was, oh, look at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I like what he's doing. It's very inspiring. Woo woo. Come on now. Is it because of the color thing? I feel like that should have that's generations behind us. Like, I feel like we should move forward. A lot of people don't like to move forward. A lot of people just have that hate inside of them. I don't know why. A lot of these front offices do. I ain't gonna lie to you.
They do.
The previous Clipper owner, he got put out. Racist allegations. Got a new owner in there, and I think Steve Ballmer. He's in there now for the Clippers. They got the old owner out. They had a whole protest. The NBA, like the guys, it was a protest all over the NBA. They wore their warm-ups inside out. Remember that?
Yep.
And they did all that because of those racist allegations. See, and that goes to show when players get together and stand up for the same thing that they believe in, something can happen.
Had they accepted that, nothing would have happened.
Nothing would have
No
happened.
one gave a shit when it came out that Jerry Jones is racist. First of all, who didn't know that? Who didn't know that?
Come on, man.
And y'all are all still going to go play for him because he's the Cowboys.
Yeah.
America's team. I say that's the Chiefs, but
They need to win, man. They need to get some dubs under them.
I'm fine if they
talking about
don't.
a championship. I'm talking about the Cowboys.
I'm fine if they don't.
Right.
But who didn't know that? Okay, but and who gives a shit? Nobody.
Nobody. I promise nobody cares. Nobody. I for sure.
Nobody.
I can't sit here and say that I care about the Cowboys' success or if they fail. I really don't.
They're not gonna get Jerry Jones out of there because the organization's not gonna speak up. The
gonna get him out of
NFL's
there?
not gonna speak up. Nobody cares.
They know better.
It's so different. The NBA is so different.
Oh, they'll get them out of there fast.
Like I said, they have more freedom of speech. I feel as though that would be a true statement.
Yeah, it's less players too.
Right.
So when that happens, they're able to gather more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas football, you have your whole offense and your whole defense and your special teams. You have to get everybody together. Like, that's so much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's so much.
NBA, we got 15 to 12 to 15 guys.
Right.
Coaching staff.
And your coaching staff is 9 times out of 10 gonna be behind you in basketball.
It's like it don't. That's crazy when people get traded. Don't even be the coaching staff, the front office.
Right.
Let's get him out of here. I think I don't know if we can do anything with him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? They try to move pieces, try to win all these championships. They look at players as if they're prizes and just put them together and see. All right, let's see if this is gonna work.
Oh, it's a money piece.
Yeah, and that's a whole different topic, which is crazy. But like, I just don't like how the leagues be moving. I know it's a business, but have some respect. You know what I'm
Yeah, it's a business. It's cutthroat, and I mean, I do wish that players were more empowerment across the board. I wish players were way more empowered in professional leagues, especially women players.
I wish they got paid.
I wish they were respected more.
I wish they got paid.
I wish they were heard more. I wish they were watched more. But it comes with time. And my girls at the U.S. national team are fighting the good fight.
Yeah. Fighting the good fight.
They are, and they're winning. They're winning their fight. So that's just shout out to all the women athletes out there. You guys rock. We rock. So what makes you personally, not what you think, but what makes you personally feel empowered as a player?
Me personally, when I say something, when I speak up for what I feel is right or what I suggest we should do, like say for instance my team, if I feel like we're doing something incorrectly and I feel like it would be better if we do it this way, if I say that and it's heard and taken like into consideration and respected, and then it has the power to make something happen, then that makes me feel empowered because that means my voice matters. You know what I'm saying? So when I can actually point out something that's wrong in the organization and make a difference for a better cause, that makes me feel empowered. I can't even lie to you. That's what I need. That's confirmation and affirmation. Like, okay, I can trust these guys. We can make something happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can build. That's what personally makes me feel empowered as a player.
I think I feel empowered when I'm just simply respected.
Yeah.
As a person. Not just respected because of my game and what I can give to you and your organization and what I can put in your pocket, but me as a person with the number on my back and without the number on my back.
Yeah. Show me some respect.
So that makes me feel just so empowered. Not the same for everybody, but just simple, blatant respect.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's respectable. I ain't gonna lie to you because a lot of people are seen just as players instead of.
Right. And being in this industry, I'm not going to lie, there's some people I do just see as a player. But
that's messed up.
It is, but
that's messed up.
It happens. I get it that it happens. You get so caught up in it being a job that you forget. But I'm able to pull myself out of that because I've been in that situation, and I do eventually end up considering the player as a whole.
Yeah, you should.
I might not be able to do for you what you expect me to do for you because we're just not on the same page here, but I'll probably try to connect you, plug you in, support you still through the things that you need, rather than just trashing you because you can't do anything for me.
Like stop.
You know? That's blocking blessings, man. That's blocking blessings.
You never know who you gonna meet, dude.
You don't.
You know
well, episode 1, player empowerment with DePaul. This is our conclusion. Please let me know what makes you feel empowered. If you're not a player, let me know what makes you feel empowered as a person, because we all need to feel empowered. And shout out to all the women in sports. And shout out to DePaul's TikTok. Please follow it at It's DePaul. Do not forget it. Like, subscribe, comment, and we will catch you on episode 2. Girl fight!